Hey man, first off, man, this Kanye album, man, the first verse I heard on Follow God, I was like, if you're a Christian hip hop artist, that album that you was gonna release, just throw it out. Just start over. Cause he's gonna, I text one of my good buddies, the first verse I heard, I was like, yeah, man, it's over. He finna shut Christian hip hop down. I was like, they're gonna have to start all over. You finna hear a bunch of repeat Kanye albums. But yeah, man, as the album went on, I kind of was like, he needs to get with some folks, and I'll dig into that a little bit. But hey, man, please subscribe. So anytime I release this content, you can get it. It's been a minute since I shot a video. It really hasn't been too much, I would say, good music out that I've been really wanting to review. I still have some album of the years that I'm gonna review, like have Kevin Gates, his I Am Him album, which I think is his best project he's ever done, his most complete project. I'm gonna do a review on that. And I still haven't done that 2 Chainz because I just think it's one of the albums of the year. But man, I wanted to sit with this Kanye West album. Yeah, Kanye West, Jesus King. Dude came out and dropped a full gospel, Christian hip hop, gospel, Christian hip hop, or yeah, whatever he's gonna call it. Man, really glad that he did drop this album. Man, I have so many mixed feelings about it, where I don't want to come across as being a hater on the album, but then also I really enjoy the album. Really short project, and man, I think it's, I don't know, maybe he's doing this on purpose to leave in like a cliffhanger. You know what I mean? There's so much more he could have did. I don't know if he rushed the album. I don't know what he had going on, but I don't think it was one of his best works, one of his best projects. I am happy the brother is moving and transitioning into a phase of his life where he's not putting on for the culture, whatever that means. You know, whatever he's come to in his mind and realization of being different. More power to him. Really glad he's doing that. It'll put a lot of things in perspective for a lot of people out there in those streets. You know, he did that. Kanye's music kind of did that for me when he dropped the Jesus Walks album. That was like a game changer for me in music altogether, hip hop altogether. It kind of gave me a platform that I really didn't use as much, but it did give me it gave me the strength, if you will. It gave me the ability, it gave me the common knowledge to go ahead and start putting God in my music, start talking more about the gospel in my music than I had before. If you ever heard of any of my old music, you know, it's terrible, for number one, but number two, it's not really indicative to what and who I am today. At the time of my life, yeah, that's exactly who I was and exactly what I was doing. But, you know, hearing these tracks like Kanye, Jesus Walks, put a lot of things in perspective for me in my ability to write and to, you know, get things off my chest and how I really feel. Because, yeah, I was in church, but at the same time, you know, I was me at that time in my life. But anyway, man, I want to get right into this review. I don't want to take too much time. As usual, I noticed that these things are better off when I keep them short. I get more clicks when I keep them short. But, man, just jumping right into it, I feel like this could have been a lot more popularized had he left it like just a straight gospel feel. To me, Christian hip hop, I gotta be careful how I say this because some people in the community will get mad. It's corny to me on a lot of levels. You have to be really good at your craft in order to be a Christian hip hop artist, rapper, to make your stuff not sound corny, not sound like Sunday school nursery rhyme type of type of tracks and type of songs. There's not many out there that can do it. I don't listen to a lot of Christian hip hop. I have a small select few artists that I listen to, and maybe that's because I get to see some things in their life and I know they really live that life and they really walk that life. And then some people just have some really hot lyrics, and I'll delve into that a little bit because Kanye had 0 Christian hip hop artists as features on here. he had clips, and I guess, one of those guys there, not Push, but his brother, No Malice is, if you watch his interviews, he's gave his life to Christ 100% across the board. And I, haven't followed him as much, but I know clips is about that life, they're about that culture. But to have them on there was really cool. But I'll get into the artists that I think there's two people he should have had on this album. Two people I think should have been on this that would have made this album a lot better. And I'm not clout chasing. This is my opinion. This is what I really, really think. So I'm gonna give you those two people. But the first track on here, Every Hour, straight gospel feel. Man, at first I was like, man, this sounds like, the late 90s, when Kurt Franklin dropped, Stomp and, his New Nation project and God's Property. I was like, man, dope. I was like, yes, it kind of gave me a nostalgic feel. I was like, man, this is going to be fresh. This is going to be dope. I was like, that first song, Every Hour, was just like, man, I was just like, you got to put your hands up when you hear this. Like, it's a phenomenal song. To me, it's the best song on there. So for me, it went from here to down, from the first track. But still, it is what it is. Another song on Howler was Follow God. I thought that was going to be the whole vibe of the whole album. When I heard that, the sample when Father, I Stretch My Hand to Thee, super old school. That's the stuff my granny grew up on. So I know his granny grew up on those old gospel songs that, I still know to this day. I can break out and sing them right now on the spot, So yeah, man, I thought that was going to be the whole vibe of the album. But it really wasn't. He mixed in a lot of old with a lot of new. I get it, bringing in like adults, grandparents that probably grew up on that type of music to now listening to the music that their grandchildren, and in some cases great grandchildren, are listening to. Bringing it all together, which is super smart from a marketing standpoint. You're going to capture an audience and then be able to carry that audience on over, which is great. But overall, man, it was a little corny. Some of the tracks on here some of the verses from Kanye on here is a little corny, man. Again, it's because it's difficult to do this Christian hip hop. You have to be really good at it in order to deliver it the way it needs to be delivered. And Kanye is not there yet. Will he be there if he continues on this trajectory? I have no doubt about it. But for his first time out the gate, I thought it was good to corny at best, right? And I think he could have made up by putting some other people on here. Another song that I really, really liked was God Is. Super, super, super dope song. Again, just the gospel feel to it. And I think that's the key component. If he's just like, hey, Jesus is king. If you're a Christian, if you're a believer, then you know that it's all about the gospel. And if you're not talking about the gospel, then you're missing the point. You're missing the whole subject. You're missing anything that's involved with it if you're not talking about the gospel. And as simple as that. I was always told that, hey, if you're gonna preach, if you're gonna speak, if you're gonna teach, if you're gonna rap, if you're gonna sing, if you're not doing it, if it's not about the gospel, then you're wasting your time. So, and that I give Kanye a ton of credit, man. Like, he did stick to the subject. He stepped to the plate. I'm not gonna say knocked it out the park, but if this is gonna be something that he's gonna pursue long term, then man, I really think he's on the right track. He did really good with the album. I just think there was so much corniness to the lyrics, like the singing. How it was composed, how it was put together is great. But man, there is an art to doing Christian hip hop. So I'm sorry if I'm coming across as being like bashing the album. I'm really, really not. I'm going to be listening to this for a long time. I didn't make my son listen to it, but I let Jaden listen to it in the car. He loves a lot of the same tracks that I like. When he's like, just like Follow God was just dope. Like, I can't, that song is dope from start to finish, and it's Christian hip hop, and he delivered well. I wonder who helped him with that, right? Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I thought it was really good to corny overall. If he's going to do it, I think he should definitely have a lot more gospel songs on there. And this is just my opinion. The gospel songs, he should definitely do some gospel songs, man. Like, I don't know if he's directing them. I don't know if he has somebody doing the directing, but the songs that there's a gospel choir singing kills it. Oh my God. Like, yes, I see why people are flocking to the Sunday services, because they want to hear that. They do want to hear that, which is great. Man, the beat selection, I think, man, if I had to give it a grade, a 7, Kanye being, one of the greatest producers of our era to do it, man, I thought I felt some leftover beats from the Ye album last year, and some leftover beats from Kids to See Ghosts. I don't know if he was having creative struggles. I don't know. Again, that's why I felt like some of this was rushed together or not pieced all the way together the way a Kanye record is going to feel like Life of Pablo. I'm glad he finally came out and did talk about and did discuss how Life of Pablo was a gospel album, just with a whole lot of cussing on it. I know friends of mine, and I hope you hear this and I hope you see this, and I hope you comment. We like to say that Kanye has been slipping a Mickey on y'all that are into the culture, but Kanye's been doing this gospel thing for a minute and talking about Jesus and his music for a minute, and you guys just haven't gotten it. You're banging Life of Pablo and didn't even know you was, in the Christian vibe. So for the people that are non-believers, and this is a spiritual side coming, or a spiritual side, a spiritual thing that you can take with it. If you ever played the Life of Pablo and was on a vibe, on a whole grind the whole time you was listening, whether it's on your daily commute, if it's making your day better at work, you just had the gospel infused into your life and didn't even know it, because you didn't even know what he was talking about on the Life of Pablo, or who Pablo was specifically. Yeah, he did come out and say Pablo was many different things, but mainly Paul, Apostle Paul, being, not Christian to then being Christian, killing Christians to now being a Christian, being persecuted as well. So the two artists that I think should have been on this album, number one, it should have been Sci-Hi the Prince. Sci-Hi dropped Album of the Year when he did No Dope on Sundays. One of my favorite albums I've ever heard in my life. It's one of my top albums in the history of hip-hop and music and all that good stuff. Sci-Hi the Prince can't be touched when it comes down to rapping about God and his lyrics. He could do it. He can do full-time Christian hip-hop right now, CAH right now, and wouldn't miss a beat easily. He could do it with his eyes closed with no problems, because you can tell that he lives that life. You can tell in his lyrics, the way he talks about being in certain situations, that God is the only way that you can get out of these things, or he's the only provision that you can have when you've had enough of this life, or whatever life that could be. I don't know why he didn't have Sci-Hi on here. Maybe Sci-Hi wrote. I didn't get a chance to look at any of the credits or any of the writer credits or anything like that, but I definitely feel like Sci-Hi should have had a verse on this album. I don't know why he didn't, man. Like, any man that knows music in this sense knows Sci-Hi should have, where's your album, Sci-Hi? Maybe you put your energy into this one. I don't know, but we need to see that. We need to see that new Sci-Hi album. And you should have been on this one. Kanye, I don't know how he did not get Sci-Hi the Prince on this one. The second artist that I think should have had a verse on here, that needed to have a verse on here, is Ruslan. King's Dream Entertainment. You could tell by the beat selection, the lyrical content, the good content would have worked so perfect for some of the things that Kanye is talking about. The Chick-fil-A song, a lot of the, songs about having your family, putting your family first, loving your wife. Man, Ruslan does that better than any Christian hip hop artist that you're going to ever listen to. I know it because that dude lives that life. I see him do it. I see him live that life. And there's nobody better than him when it comes down to doing a Christian hip hop track. Like, that dude kills it hands down. Now, I don't know why or how he couldn't have made that happen. I know he could have, or somebody, I don't know, it could have happened. And maybe somebody needs to put him on. Maybe somebody needs to let Kanye know, whisper in his ear, hey, that's the dude you probably want to get on your album, get on your track. Because it will go. If you've ever heard of Ruslan's music or heard any of his music, the dude spits, and he is about, living that life. So overall, man, that's my take on the Kanye Jesus is King album. Again, I thought it's good to corny, you know, like, again, because Christian hip hop is so hard to nail. It is difficult to nail. But I think given some time, given some practice, I think Kanye is on the right track. I hope the brother stays in this realm. I hope he stays on this path. And, you know, man, I hope he keeps doing it, man. He can win a lot of souls. He can do a lot of great things with this trajectory. I just hope it's not one of those flash in the pans. I'm going to pull the wool over everybody's eyes because I'm going through things mentally. You know, people go through a lot of stuff in life and they turn to God, and once they're fixed, they go back. And I don't know if that's going to be something that Kanye does. I hope it's not. I hope his heart is pure on this. I hope this is something that he's going to continue to pursue. I'll be honest, I don't like the Kanye that doesn't cuss. Like, that's just me as listening to hip hop and listening to music. Since day one, Kanye has been like one of my favorite artists. I mean, he's always had positive stuff in his music, always has. And I'm sure he always will, because he's not a thug. He's never been a thug. He's a polo backpacker, at least to me, in my view, in my eyes. But yeah, man, leave a comment, leave a like. Let me know what you think. And yeah, man, thanks for checking it out.